Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clara and I work in the Future Students team here at the ANU. So welcome everyone to our series of webinars that relate to all things applying to ANU and our academic colleges and experience. This webinar will be focusing on our colleges of business and economics and the ANU College of Law. We'll just wait a moment until everyone has logged on, so we give them the opportunity. Oh, that's good. The numbers are heading up. That's wonderful. Lovely. The image that is behind me is the actual university. It's extraordinarily beautiful. It sits underneath the Black Mountain there, the Telstra Tower, and next to the lake and right next to the city. And it's full of beautiful, beautiful trees and a lovely environment to study in and to work in. I feel privileged. It's just 1 minute past 4. I think I'll just give it 1 more minute. Oh, 4:02. I think we might kick off. So thank you everyone for joining. There's a couple of you here. What I wanted to focus on and say, this is your opportunity to hear from the experts, okay? This is about processes and programs, and this is your opportunity to ask questions. This webinar is being recorded, so you can be aware of that. But when you ask questions, you can ask anonymously. So don't feel that you need to share your personal details. Before I introduce the panel, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land in which I work and live. And I want to recognise the continuing connection to the land, water and our community. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. We've had a lot of interest in this session, so that's wonderful. I'll now introduce the panel. So if I could see Tom and Anita. There they are, wonderful. So Anita, as you can see, is with the College of Business and Economics, and Tom here is with our ANU College of Law. You can see here that we've got our presentation already up, so I'm going to be handing over to them. And look, you're more than welcome to ask questions as we go. We'll have a look at them as we go, or we can answer them at the end. We just want to make sure this session is as open and flexible and really just as an opportunity to really get as much as you can out of it. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Clara. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We're really excited to be able to speak to you about your study options across the areas of business, economics, as well as law. So to give you a little bit of background into ANU, for those of you who don't know, we are Australia's #1 university and we're also ranked 27 in the world. Now, what this means is that by coming to ANU, you gain a qualification from a university that's not only nationally recognised, but also internationally recognised. It's a degree that can really take you anywhere. We're #1 in Australia, as well as number 15 in the world for graduate employability. So it's really important, obviously, not only that you get the most out of your degree, but you also get a job once you finish. #1 in Australia, as well as number 15 in the world for the most international university as well. So what that means is you're getting a really diverse student cohort when you come and study at ANU. You're being exposed to people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, really making your university experience the best it possibly can be.
We're also really proud to have 6 Nobel Prize winners among our staff and alumni, and that includes our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Brian Schmidt. So you can be assured that you're in excellent company in joining here, people at the top of their fields. 88% of our academic staff hold a PhD, and that's more than any other Australian university. So again, qualifications of the people that will be teaching you here are really top-notch. And finally, we have a 5-star rating for staff in our ratio of staff to students. So that's something that I know is very important for a lot of students to be able to have that personalised learning experience, and you certainly get that here with the small class sizes.
With regards to the College of Business and Economics, sorry, I'll get you to go back 1 slide, Tom.
Sure.
When it comes to the College of Business and Economics, which is where I work, the purpose of our college is to have a transformative impact on society through enhancing knowledge in the fields of business and economics. The strength of our international reputation attracts exceptional students from Australia, as well as Asia Pacific and beyond. We offer every student the opportunity to develop their strengths and the space to decide how they'll make their future mark in the world. We consist of 4 research schools: the Research School of Accounting, the Research School of Economics, the Research School of Finance, Actuarial Studies and Statistics, and finally the Research School of Management. We have approximately 6,500 students across the college. About 3,500 of those are doing postgraduate coursework, and then almost 3,000 are doing undergraduate programs, and just over 150 doing higher degree research. By coming to the ANU and studying with the College of Business and Economics, you're going to have access to world-class academics. So these are subject matter experts. They have experience, they have publications, they really know what they're teaching you about, and most of them have worked in the field as well. So that perfect blend of both practical and theory. Our international reputation, as I said before, when you come to a university with not only national rankings, but also international rankings, it's really going to open doors for your career. Our education draws on both research expertise as well as addressing contemporary issues. And our programs are a balance of research-led learning as well as a practical application of knowledge. And where this practical application of knowledge comes in is through our strong suite of work-integrated learning programs. So collaborations with alumni, industry partners from the private, public, as well as not-for-profit sectors.
Okay. So a little bit about ANU College of Law. We are Australia's national law school, and we're renowned for our teaching excellence and being the intellectual home for a lot of Australia's experts when it comes to our particular research strengths. So that includes international and constitutional law, public and private law, and some other areas of law that I'll go into in more depth where we've got particular expertise. And so we bring that together, teachers and experts, not just the ones who are here on our faculty staff. We also have a lot of honorary and visiting experts that come and teach into our programs. And some of them come from universities, including Oxford and Cambridge. So really proud of the partnerships and the connections that we've got here. So in a nutshell, a bit of our college at a closer look. So we've recently celebrated our 60th anniversary, and we're one of the top 25 law schools in the world. And as I mentioned, research-led education, that's something that you'll find across the board here at ANU. And it's no exception here at law. We've got people at the top of their fields, and not just recognised within Australia and Asia Pacific, but as world leaders in their particular areas of expertise. And I've also just included a bit of a snapshot there too of our student numbers. So we are one of the smaller colleges, or the smallest college at ANU. However, you will find that you're in excellent company in the fact that about a third of our alumni have law degrees at ANU. So there's lots of networking and mentoring opportunities that, again, I'll go into in more depth later on. So about almost 1,500 students in total, and our undergrad students account for a decent number of those, 1,275. Okay, so a little bit more about why studying law at ANU is an excellent choice. As I mentioned, we are Australia's national law school, and what that means is that we like to basically, one of the best or one of the advantages that we have is that we are in close proximity to some of the institutions that are really important for the study of law. So that includes the High Court of Australia, which you'll find is just a very short stroll from where we are here on our Acton campus, as well as Parliament House, where the laws are debated and created. And there are also Commonwealth courts and federal agencies that we offer our students really unparalleled access when it comes to the members, legal practitioners, members of the judiciary, many of whom are our alumni, government policymakers, and others too. So just what does that mean? To give you an example, one of our courses that's taught to students is taught by a former High Court Chief Justice, that's Robert French. We also have a masterclass that's run by a current High Court Justice, James Edelman. We also have, as I mentioned, some experts that teach into our courses, and they include a retired UK Air Commodore who teaches cyber warfare law, which and then there are of course other more standard courses that you'll experience as undergraduate students in evidence, litigation, dispute management, and they're all taught by practicing barristers and people who bring a real expertise to those subjects. As I mentioned, we've got distinct research strengths in international and public law, constitutional and administrative law, climate and environmental law and its interface with technology too. Some of the other reasons to study here, I think, are the transformative experiential learning opportunities that Anita and I will go into in more detail very shortly. And most importantly, or one of the things that I hear speaking to students about why they chose to study law at ANU is that they love the international pathways that open up after graduation. So if you study law at ANU, you actually are on the pathway to practice law in not just in Australia, but also in New Zealand, India, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, Hong Kong, among different countries and regions. So combining your ANU Bachelor of Laws degree with the prerequisite practical legal training, it really does open up all sorts of exciting possibilities. Okay, so we'll now look at some of the programs that we've got. I'll start with Anita. Oh, Anita, you're just on mute.
Thank you. So to give you an overview of some of the programs that we offer in the College of Business and Economics, these range from programs that are quite specific and will lead to very direct career outcomes. So things like actuarial studies, and also include things like the Bachelor of Commerce, which are a little bit more broad, offer you more flexibility, the opportunity to do electives, majors, minors, and explore different study areas. So it all comes down to what your career goals are, where you're looking to go, and what you're interested in. We offer a Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Actuarial Studies, the Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Commerce, the Bachelor of Economics, the Bachelor of Finance, the Bachelor of Finance, Economics and Statistics, and then the Bachelor of International Business and Bachelor of Statistics. So with these programs now, generally we do a few intakes, 2 intakes a year. It all depends on how many places are left in the program though. So generally what we encourage is that you apply for that February intake because there's not always a guarantee that a July intake will be available. There are some assumed knowledge courses and some prerequisites involved in some of the programs. So please make sure that you look into those before you apply to make sure that you meet any additional requirements such as prerequisites. Prerequisites are courses that you must have studied or subjects you must have studied in year 12 to be able to study a program at university. Assumed knowledge is a little bit different. You don't have to have it. However, when you walk in on day 1, our lecturers are assuming that you have studied those areas. So what it means is that they'll be teaching courses with that base level, assuming that you have that base level of understanding. For me, my first degree was a medical science degree. I hadn't studied the assumed knowledge courses. It didn't mean that I couldn't do the degree. It just meant that it required a little bit of catching up for me. I had to get a tutor. I had to join some study groups to try and catch up and understand the content. So it's just something to be aware of if you are going to apply for a program that has assumed knowledge. If you haven't met that, it's just going to require a little bit more work on your end. Something to keep in mind is that most of our programs do have professional accreditation as well as industry recognition. So this is really important when it comes to being able to get a job at the end of it. So actuarial studies and statistics, we have accreditation with the Actuaries Institute, as well as the Centre of Actuarial Excellence and the Statistical Society of Australia. Accounting, a range of different accreditations. Business information systems were accredited with the Australian Computer Society as well as the World Wide Web Consortium, and then finance with the CFA Institute.
Okay. All right, so a look at the undergraduate program that we've got at ANU College of Law. Not quite as extensive as Anita's ones there at CBE, but the Bachelor of Laws honours degree is a world-class degree, and it's one that we have offered to undergraduate students. So as you can see there, there are two options for studying this degree. You can take it as a single degree, and that's 4 years full-time. Or you could take something that's very popular here, which is the flexible double degree. And that basically means combining your Bachelor of Laws with another discipline. So we have over 35 different disciplines that you can combine your law studies with at ANU, and that equates to, I think, 750 combinations. So lots of choice there to really tailor it to your interests. Some of the most common ones, pairings of undergraduate pairings with law include business and commerce, arts, society and culture, engineering and computer, not engineering, computer science, health and medical studies, so science as well. We have found that there's lots of students who are really interested in the intersection between law and technology, Asian studies. So there's really a lot of different choices available. The other thing to, I think, emphasize here is that honours is built in from the start of your degree if you take the Bachelor of Laws. So what does that mean? Well, basically it means that we've put a real emphasis on developing versatile skills in independent research, analysis, critical thinking, and this provides you with a competitive edge for when you graduate. It also gives you a solid foundation if you are interested in pursuing postgraduate study, because you'll have developed those critical research skills. You'll also gain in-depth knowledge as a Bachelor of Laws honours student about the role and the function of law, and develop an advanced understanding about how law influences and impacts almost every aspect of our society. So that's a bit about the Bachelor of Laws. Now, if you're thinking that a double degree, does that mean double the work? It doesn't. It's, as you can see, it's just an additional year. So 4 years is for the straight Bachelor of Laws honours. But if you wanted to combine it with one of those disciplines that I mentioned just now, it's only an extra year. So you can start as a flexible double degree student, or if you can start your studies in another undergraduate offering and actually take up law if you don't meet the ATAR and IB requirements initially. Anita, did you want to maybe mention just a little bit more about that option?
Yeah, not a problem. So this is actually quite a popular option for students who don't meet that entry requirement from year 12. It doesn't mean that you can't then come and study law at ANU. There's always pathways and options available to you. So what a lot of students will do is, if they don't meet that initial ATAR, they'll start in another program, perhaps a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Commerce, something that they may want to combine law with. And then after their first year of study, they will apply for an internal transfer into either the law single degree or the law flexible double degree. It does require a grade point average of about 6 out of 7 to be able to transfer. So to put that into context, that's about 75% and above in all your assignments and exams across that first year to be able to make that change into the law program. Everything that you've done across your first year of studies should count towards your degree that you transfer into. We just sub it into the space that you have for electives within the program. So in most instances, it shouldn't take you any longer to be able to do it that way.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Anita. And just one more point, as I was talking about these options to really personalize your studies, you'll see there that there are 4 specializations that we've got within the Bachelor of Laws honours. So those are corporate and commercial law, international and comparative law, law reform, environmental and social justice, and public law. So if there is something that you're very passionate about and that you would like to explore during your undergrad studies in through research thesis, there are 4 different specializations that you can pursue. Okay. All right, so moving on to experiential learning, and I'll just hand back over to Anita.
Perfect. So in addition to everything you learn in the lecture theatres and in your tutorials, we also offer a range of different opportunities to make sure that you're getting the practical hands-on learning skills that you're going to need for the real world once you graduate. So within the College of Business and Economics, we offer a range of different opportunities for students depending on what you're studying. An example of this is the ANU Tax Clinic. This is where we partner with community organisations and we're supported by 12 business organisations. They're student-run clinics. Clients receive information from ANU accounting students. So these students are actually providing advice while they're still studying, gaining the skills that they need to be able to take out into the workplace. It also offers a community service. It's providing accessible services to members of the community seeking information to meet their tax obligations. And then we offer workshops on tax matters as well. Sorry, one slide back. The International Business Plan Competition. So this is part of the international marketing course that students can complete either as, in some programs it's a core subject, in some programs it is an elective option. And this involves students working in teams, so groups of 3 or 4 students, and you work with real clients to prepare international market expansion plans for them. And then you will compete against each other. So for each company will have 3 or 4 groups working with them, and then they'll select the best plan from their company. That team will then go through and compete against all the other teams that have also prepared the best plan for their respective company. Students undertake marketing screening exercises, identify the best and newest foreign markets for SMEs to expand into as well. And then they propose a suitable market entry strategy and a comprehensive set of international marketing mix elements for the firm. So you're really working as live consultants while you're actually studying. A lot of students go on to find internships out of this. Some have gone on to find jobs as a result of it with the company that they were placed with. It's a really exciting opportunity, and students always give us feedback that it's one of the best courses that they do as part of their degree. The skills that they learn, the opportunities that they have to work with those live companies, the networks that they build with their peers, it's something that these students then take into their future work lives. And then we also have the ANU Student Managed Fund. So students in the ANU Student Managed Fund take responsibility for over $600,000 worth of investments. So this is real money. The primary task of the students is to make investment recommendations to be reviewed and endorsed by an investment advisory committee, which includes top industry practitioners. So the students are managing the money and making recommendations, but they're also being mentored by people who are top of their game. The course provides students with unique opportunities for deep activity-based learning with the purpose of funding a scholarship for disadvantaged students.
Okay, so on to experiential learning and what that means here for us at the ANU College of Law. I've got a list here of some of the clinical courses. I'll go into those in a little bit more detail, but I just wanted to share. I remember once, when I first joined the college, I was speaking to our director of clinical programs and internships, and I was asking him what he found so rewarding in that role. And he said, with law, it becomes real when it's in action. You can learn a lot of the theory and a lot of the legal history and other aspects of it, in a classroom. But it's not until you're actually there experiencing it, being involved in cases, that it really starts to become meaningful and gets our students excited about the possibilities that lie ahead. So here are some of the clinical courses that we offer. A lot of them, so for students enrolled in our Bachelor of Laws Honours program, they're all able to take some of these clinical courses. And you'll probably see that there's a common thread about personalizing your learning, like aligning it with what you're interested in. And the experiential side's no exception to that. It's something that you can really find where your passions lie and pursue them more deeply. Many of these are actually based here in the ACT or New South Wales, but we've also got others that are available in Western Australia, the Northern Territory, and including one that's abroad in Myanmar that we're hoping to restart again soon. That's some of the pictures you can see on this slide are from our students that were teaching law students in Yangon, and they also got to liaise with the judiciary bodies over there and Australian diplomatic services as well. So some of the courses, just a quick snapshot. We've got the community law clinic, the environmental law clinic, Indigenous community law clinic, international law clinic. We have a journal that's a law journal that's published here at the college, an Australian Yearbook of International Law, and so there's an opportunity to work there with and be involved in that publication. The Myanmar Law Clinic, Prison Legal Literacy Clinic, which is another very popular and rewarding experience for a lot of students, where they will visit detainees at the Alexander McConaughey Centre here in the ACT, and we'll work with them to basically pass on some of the knowledge that they've gained through their law degree to build their awareness. The Public Interest Law Clinic and the Youth Law Clinic as well. Internships is something that we're going to cover again in more depth here, but I just wanted to pick out 4 of the internships that we offer that are actually international, and ones that I get really excited about, especially now that travel is starting to resume, because we have students that have the most remarkable experiences on these ones. So here are some of the ones that we do offer. The ANU Law World Bank internship, so that's based in Washington, DC. The International Court of Justice traineeship. That's one that in this photo you can see one of our students, Kirsten Story, who I spoke to about her experience there, and she told me all sorts of amazing stories about writing to the Peace Palace in The Hague, and what a great experience it was to be able to work with top international jurists. The Permanent Court of Arbitration Fellowship, which is also based in The Hague. And then we've also got an expanding list of internships that are based in Asia. So there really are lots of different avenues you can pursue there. And finally, I just wanted to share one that is very timely. This one actually just wrapped up last week, and it's Legal Education for True Justice, Deep Listening on Country. So this was our inaugural cohort of students that we took out to Alice Springs, where they were engaged with traditional owners out there to learn about the study, or to study law from an Indigenous perspective. So I mentioned at the start that we pride ourselves on being the national law school, and for us that extends more to far beyond just being based in Canberra. It's also about educating the next generation of lawyers, because you're the ones who will not only will engage with the law, but will also be involved in shaping it and advancing justice outcomes for those who historically hasn't have been marginalized by the law. So this experience, it was a week-long intensive. We took students out there, as I said, and it really exposed them to just a different perspective about law. And speaking to some of the students that have returned in recent days, it's just been amazing to hear that shift of consciousness, again, taking learning beyond the lecture theatre and really making it something that's real and gets them excited about life after ANU. So I have included, I actually got the students to set up an Instagram page, so you can have a look yourself if you'd like to see what that experience is like, and keep that in your mind when you do come to study law at ANU, because it's one you won't want to miss. Okay, we're going to look now at life as an ANU student in more depth. So again, I'll just hand over to Anita.
Sorry, I had the mute on again. So Tom just spoke about internships, and internships are a really important part of developing those real world skills that we keep going on about, but they're so important in terms of your career outcomes and prospects. So within the College of Business and Economics, we have our internships as well. These are award-winning internship programs where we work with the government, we work with the private sector, we work for not-for-profit to set students up with internships both in semester 1 and semester 2. So across the year, there's plenty of opportunities to do internships within your program. We also offer a lot of career services. So within that, we provide career planning, so job search strategies, resume reviews, looking at your job applications, helping you with interview preparation, helping you with your LinkedIn profile, networking strategies. We do industry engagement, so job fairs, industry-led workshops, employer presentations, mock assessment centres to prepare you for the sort of assessment centres that you'll face when you're looking at applying for graduate positions, and then also alumni engagement, being able to engage with our alumni and connect with them and learn from them as well as use them as mentors. We offer workshops on resumes, interview skills, communication and decision-making, personal brand, job hunting, workplace behaviour, as well as the international job market. We also have a job notice board. So the College of Business and Economics, the companies and organisations that we work with, often they'll come to us looking for part-time employees, casual employees. So we have a notice board that College of Business and Economics students have access to through a portal, and you can apply for positions through that. We also advertise graduate positions through that as well, because 3 years post-graduation, so after you complete your degree for another 3 years, you're still able to access all these services that I'm talking about. And then there's a weekly newsletter where we offer information. We provide details about any upcoming sessions that we have, workshops that we have, as well as any jobs that are being advertised as well. So Momentum is a mentoring program that we provide within the College of Business and Economics, and this is quite unique. It's designed to enhance employability as well as career readiness and support a successful transition to the workplace by developing work-ready, confident and competitive graduates. We have developed it in partnership and we deliver it in partnership with industry partners. Interactive networking workshops, employability milestones, one-on-one time with the experienced industry mentor over a semester are all things that you'll have access to as part of this. Each interactive networking workshop focuses on a specific area of professional development. So you're going to be looking at things like your personal brand, networking, connecting with purpose, and then leadership and resilience, really designed to support student development. The CBE Internship Program, sorry, I'll get you to go back one slide.
Oh, it's going.
So just a little bit more information on that one. I mentioned it briefly before. We have over 100 local internships a year in across those public, private, not-for-profit sectors. And it's similar to real job applications in terms of how you apply for this. So you do submit an application, you will go through an interview to be selected for it. And what we've seen in terms of the students who go through this, we've seen an 85% growth in their employability skills, 90% student satisfaction for the students who go through it. And then we've also had a number of students who have been nominated for Intern of the Year awards. So you can see that there's a range of placements every year that we do through that. Great opportunity to be able to access that real world experience while you're studying.
Okay, thanks, Anita. And sorry, my clicker
problem.
is malfunctioning a bit. So jumping into law. So I touched on some of the internships and clinical courses that we offer. Essentially, the big takeaway is that these allow you to engage with real clients, real problems, and real deadlines in a real world environment. So very authentic. Clinical placements can be undertaken in a community agency, community legal centre, or non-government organisation, where you'll get the opportunity to explore law reform and social justice issues relevant to that field of practice. And internship placements, they can be undertaken at any organisation, so both in person and virtually, locally, nationally and internationally. We do have a dedicated careers and employability team here at the college, and one of the many great things that they do for our students is offer support in connecting them with internship partners that we have. However, you can also have a self-arranged internship too. So there is that flexibility to really make it an experience that is worthwhile for you. As you can see, we've got one of our students here, Jessica, who recently had an internship at the Victorian Aboriginal Legal Service, and that was a really interesting experience for her. Some of the other services that we offer, I'm shamelessly going to say that they're also, we've kind of picked those from CBE as well. We offer similar job notice boards, a newsletter as well. So many of the fantastic careers and employability services that you'll see at CBE, we're also dedicated to providing our students as well at law. The other one that I get really excited by is the mentoring that we offer. So our students, I kind of touched on the fact that we've got this very engaged alumni network, currently close to 25,000 worldwide. Many of them are here in Canberra, and they're always very eager to give back to our students. So there's that option to be paired with somebody that is maybe in your dream career, and to get that personal and professional advice to take those next steps. Another thing that I think is really handy in preparing our students for life after graduation, if you've ever watched Law and Order and thought, oh, I would love to do that, then, or Judge Judy, then you can get the chance to hone your legal skills while you're still a student. We've got a beautiful moot court here on campus, and we've got students both at our ANU Law Student Society that specialise in giving training and building up the skills for students that are interested in being involved in mooting. And then once you are ready to apply those skills, you can take part in competitions. We've got so many great competitions for mooting. One of the real I think boons for us in this past couple of years, even though we have had to shift to remote learning and remote work, the mooting competitions have continued. So they've had students involved in virtual mooting competitions, not just from the really big ones like the Jessup Moot, which is an international competition, but also to ones that we've developed here at the college. So we, a couple of years ago, launched one on gender identity and sexuality law, and that's the first moot of its kind in Australasia. We had Justice Michael Kirby, who is a former High Court Justice, as one of the judges for that. So to really to get that experience of advocacy, of making submissions and standing before one of Australia or one of the world's best judges, you can't really compare that. It's something that most legal professionals can only imagine. So there is lots of opportunity to, if you are interested in mooting, to explore that here, and we've got some great academics that you can be mentored by, and of course with the Jessup Moot too, you can actually take that as a course, so that if you are a member of the ANU Jessup team, which we have a proud history in that competition, you can have that academic credit for that as well. Okay, moving on to law reform and social justice. So this is it's something that it's a real draw card for our undergraduate students especially. So when we talk about our responsibility as the National Law School, a big part of that is being able to shape law reform. And if you thought that being able to make submissions to Senate inquiries and other high-profile places like that was something that was reserved for legal scholars and practitioners, you'll be surprised. We actually have a lot of students that will make submissions to these inquiries, and often they'll get cited in when laws are reformed in final reports. So that experience, to be able to graduate and then say that, hey, I was involved in the reform of this law, apart from being very meaningful, it's just something that's, I think, incredibly appealing to future employers too. So just to give you an example, some of the research inquiry or submissions that our students have made over the past year has included inquiry into Australia's skilled migration program, the ACT Election and Electoral Act, an inquiry into the destruction of the Juukan Gorge, which was that happened in the Pilbara region by a mining company, as well as press and religious freedom bills. One of the submissions that I was most inspired by it was one of the photos that you can see on the slide there in the bottom right. Two of our students, Andrew and Annika, who did a report into the concept of lawfare and how that was whether that really was delaying projects of in environmental approvals. And so they actually, because it was something that they'd heard a lot about, they did the research and empirical study. They found that actually it wasn't anywhere near the scale of what had been made out by some politicians and other pundits. And that was really groundbreaking research. It was published in a journal. It was a story on The Guardian. So again, what a great experience as a student to be involved in something as big as that. You'll also see we've got Hilary Charlesworth in that top left photo. She's one of our former professors who is now a judge with the International Court of Justice in The Hague. You can see her speaking there about human rights, which is an area that she practiced in as an international barrister. We've also got judges, as I mentioned, that come to our college on a regular basis throughout the year. In the top right photo is Judge John Lowndes, and he's there speaking to students as part of our LRSJ Meet the Judge series of events. And then finally, we've also got a panel discussion and film screening that we hosted earlier this year as part of the Law Reform and Social Justice Indigenous Reconciliation Project. So we brought together an all-Indigenous panel to discuss the next steps for the ACT after the screening of the documentary Incarceration Nation. And that was an event that attracted all sorts of people from the community and was a great experience for our students too. So those are just some of the areas that you can get involved in. What I think is most impressive is that all of our projects in LRSJ, Law Reform and Social Justice, are student-led. So the research that they do, the advocacy they do, it's all driven by students with supervision from academics. So some of the projects you can see there is community legal education, where some of our students will go to high schools and they'll talk to students about what their rights are when it comes to work and other issues. Green law, which is the study that I mentioned Annika and Andrew are involved with, and they've produced some amazing research outputs. And there are a couple of others there. I'd encourage you to visit the website if you'd like to learn more, because there are so many great events and projects, and it's a great place to learn more about that. Okay, so for clubs and societies, Nita, I might hand back to you for this one.
I think if there's one take-home message that you take away from today's session, it's that aside from, regardless of what you decide to study, it's really important to get involved. There's going to be so many opportunities that you have when you come to ANU, regardless of which program you're enrolled in. These opportunities are going to be what makes your experience at university one that you remember for the rest of your life. I always like to say there's two types of students. There's the ones who turn up to their lectures, they hand in their assignments, they get their degree, they're done. And then there's the ones who join clubs and societies. They go on a student exchange. They will do an internship. They're the ones who look back at university. They form connections. They form networks. They doors open for them in terms of job opportunities. So really make the most of your time at university, regardless of what you decide to study. At ANU, we do have more than 100 clubs and societies that are available for students to meet new friends, build those networks, gain new experiences, as well as enrich your student life. So CBE and ANU College of Law have groups that specifically focus on academic areas. So we've got the ANU Actuarial Finance, Economics, Commerce, Student Society, there's the ANU Actuarial Society, there's a Commerce Collective, the Consulting Society, the ANU Law students have the ANU Law Student Society. They organise a law ball, they organise a range of different events and social activities, as well as job kind of opportunities as well when it comes to organising employer expos and those sorts of things where you can come along and meet employers. So some really great opportunities there. ANUSA, which is our Students Association, PASA is a postgraduate Students Association, but ANUSA will be the one most relevant for you. They're our student representative body for our students. They advocate student and university matters, they provide student welfare, and they promote social and cultural activities and events as well. So really make sure that you look into those. There's clubs and societies for anything you can think of. You know, I believe we had a Quidditch club. I don't know if that still exists, but I know that students have definitely played Quidditch in the past. You know, if you are a chocolate appreciator, there's chocolate appreciation clubs. There's all sorts of clubs and societies you can join. So make sure that you really do get involved and make the most of that aspect of your university life. When it comes to admissions, so this is something that's going to be top of mind for all of you at the moment. Applications are open at the moment if you're looking at direct applications. So if you apply directly for study in 2023, your application is going to cover admissions, scholarships, as well as accommodation. Applications do close on the 23rd of May if you're applying directly. So please make sure that you get your application in by that deadline. The deadline to then upload your co-curricular and service requirement documentation is the 30th of May. So ANU, what we're looking at is really well-rounded students. We want to know that you do well academically, but we also want to know that you have really been involved in other aspects as well. So looking at community service that you may have done, do you have a part-time job, do you play a sport? All of those are really important for us to know that you're able to balance life and really find that perfect kind of balance when it comes to your study and also maintaining a life outside of your study. So we do have some requirements around that. All of that information is on our website. Now, keeping in mind that through the direct applications, what we do is we are going to assess your application based on your Year 11 grades. So offers for that are released on the 5th of September and the acceptance deadline for those offers is the 5th of October. If your Year 11 results were not high enough to get you into the program that you want to study, it doesn't mean that you can't come to ANU. We do have a change of preference period, and then also we look at applications based on your Year 12 results as well, with those final offers being released on the 23rd of December. Clara, did you want to provide any more information on this at all? Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any questions at all? Tom, you didn't have any other additional information to add to the applications?
Only that my favorite club and society is probably the ANU K-pop dance club, but nothing related to direct application. Sorry, Nina.
Not a problem. So I think that was all the information that we wanted to cover today, but we'd really like to open it up to you and see if you have any questions, whether it's about programs, whether it's about opportunities, whether it's about the application process itself. Please feel free to use either the chat panel or the Q&A function. I believe there's also the option of raising your hand. So if you would like to speak live, raise your hand and we can unmute you and you'll be able to speak.
You want to unshare the screen now? That would be great.
Okay, so somebody has asked, if you apply through ANU direct entry, do you have to include any of the programs in your UAC application? So Clara, I might defer to you on that one as the admission specialist.
Sorry, I was just looking at that. If you
No.
apply through a direct, do you have to include any programs? Oh, yes, lovely. No, not at all. The beauty about applying directly to ANU is that you do not have to go through any tax, not UAC, not VTAC, not SAC. It's just directly to us. And we will assess, as exactly what Anita said, we'll look at your Year 11's results first. We'll create an ANU ranking from that. But you'll be just sitting in a holding pattern if you don't get that offer on the 5th of September. And exactly what Anita said, we will then look at your Year 12 results, your ATAR at the end of the year. So there's no need to put in an application to make it. Sometimes people think formalize it through the UAC system. You do not need to do that. The whole process sits with us. There's another question here. No, that's that one. Anyone else have any questions? Thank you. Just take the opportunity when people are thinking possibly about something they'd like to ask you, Anita or Tom. Thank you so much for that presentation. It was just fabulous. I always learn so much. I actually think I want to go back and study again. So exciting. It's just the broad opportunities that they have, and it's just amazing. You can be such a full-rounded person. It's so fabulous.
I got particularly excited, Tom, when you were speaking about the moot court. So I think, just having the opportunity to that sort of practical exposure, it's something that I didn't have. I've done a law degree. I wasn't lucky enough to study at ANU, and for me, didn't get that training. And it was a disaster on my first day in front of a judge because I didn't know I had to bow. I didn't know which side the prosecution sat on and which side the defense sat on. It was a nightmare. So being able to learn those sorts of practical skills, I can't emphasize enough how important that is.
I must admit, I love the international business plan one from CBE. That's just so giving back as well. That idea.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And
that's
the companies that we work for, a lot of them have been nominated for export awards. They've won national export awards. And a lot of that's come out of a result of our students being involved in providing them with those export plans.
So fabulous. We just have another one. This one's for you, Tom. Just to confirm, practical legal training is embedded into the B Laws honours.
Yeah, so great question. Practical legal training is actually a separate component. So once you finish your Bachelor of Laws honours degree at ANU, you'll then do what's called a Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice. And that's a 6-month course, and it will basically give you the, it will admit you to be, for practice. So that used to be offered at ANU. We don't offer that anymore. However, you'll find that it's a very, there are lots of options, lots of flexible study patterns for this. Some of the ones that our students will usually take up Leo Cusson, which does have an office here in, or a base here in Canberra, even actually on campus here at ANU. A College of Law, not to be confused with ANU College of Law, is also another very big practical legal training provider. So there's lots of options, and yeah, it's something that students will typically, as soon as they complete their Bachelor of Laws, will take that on, or even I think some of them in their final semester or final year will be able to take that. And you can, as I said, do study remotely, or there are intensives as well. So excellent question, but you will need your, not just your LLB, but your GDLP, Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice, if you are hoping to become a practitioner.
Top question. Yeah, very good. I can see there's we've got plenty of time. You have 2 experts here, as you can hear. So please take the opportunity. You're more than welcome just to put the question in the Q&A and make it anonymous if you want to, or as Anita said, very happy for the chat, or raise your hand if you want to find it easier just to say it loud. That's absolutely fine. So please let us know.
I might just take the opportunity just to quickly share, for those that are joining us, I've got a link here to, if you are interested in mooting and what that looks like, we've got a mock trial here that our students did recently for open day or open week. So watch that, bookmark it if you'd like, and you can kind of see what that looks like for our students and how persuasive they are. So it blows my mind how impressive they are.
Brilliant. I'm also going to just put in my email address here, which is the Central Future Students team. Our role is to look after really any students and be able to direct. If we can't answer, we know a little bit about a lot, but as you can see, these experts here, we're very happy to forward, or I can reach out to my colleagues and find out that information for you. So I'll just also add that into the chat.
And Tom, we've just got a question for you that's come up. Can you please give any tips or experiences regarding doing a PhD at the ANU College of Law?
Yeah, so for the PhD, that falls within our higher degree research program. As far as the admission process goes for that, I have to be honest, I don't have full knowledge of that, but what I can do, maybe I can find out more and get back to you on that one. It's just, I apologize, it's one of the areas I'm not too familiar with.
I can give a little bit of information.
Yeah, bail me out again. Thank you, Anita.
No, not a problem. So with regards to that, you do need to have an honours to be eligible for the PhD. So that's something to keep in mind. And generally, we are looking at a first class honours. So you do need to do quite well to be competitive to find a place within the PhD. Generally, what we ask is that students seek out a supervisor first. So by going to our website, there's a full list of instructions, and Tom, I'll get you to link that perhaps in the, if you can link the PhD page from the law site in there. So within that, basically, there's a checklist of what you need to go through. And the first step is usually to find a supervisor and an area that you're looking at studying. Once you've done that, you then go through the process to apply.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I've just popped the link into the chat there that just gives a very comprehensive overview about what you need to do to apply. So, yeah.
Lovely. Do we have any other questions before we say goodbye to Anita and Tom? Thank you so much. It's been so informative. Now, just to make sure, you may have peers or your parents, or you want to be able to show someone this this webinar. We are recording it and it will be uploaded onto our ANU YouTube site, and all the other webinars that we've had, which have run through right from the application process from the March right through, and we're having some more as well. They are also there. So how to apply, a step through accommodation, student services, our other college information. I think we're going to be coming up and having a student panel as well. So you want to hear from current students, that'll be taking place. I might just take this opportunity to just find that and just also add that into the chat. So if you or Anita would like to say anything else.
Yeah, I might just take one more question that's come, Clara, if that's okay.
Lovely,
it's just
please.
Our Juris Doctor program. So the Juris Doctor is one of our postgraduate degrees. It's 3 years full time. Now, it's not something that you would take if you've already got a Bachelor of Law. So it's kind of, you can think of it like the postgraduate equivalent of the Bachelor of Laws. That cohort, they do share a lot of courses together. There are opportunities to do a lot of the things that I spoke about today, like the clinical programs, internships. But it's for students who have an undergraduate degree in a non-law discipline. So it's not something that you would come to if you haven't got an undergraduate degree, or if you already do have a Bachelor of Laws. There are other postgraduate degrees that you could do instead, including some of our master's programs, the Master of Laws, which is open to law and non-law graduates. And we've also got Master of International Law and Diplomacy, and one that's offered jointly by our colleges, the Master of Financial Management and Law. So those would be the ones if you already have an undergrad law degree, but if you don't, then the Juris Doctor is your pathway to practice.
Keeping in mind that the Juris Doctor is also a good option for anyone who's completed an undergraduate law degree in another country and wants to practice in Australia. There are different pathways to be able to do that, but there are some students who decide to do a Juris Doctor to be able to then practice in Australia.
Just bear with me. I'm also copying the link that I can now add into the chat, which is where all those previous webinars sit that you can go and visit it in your time, leisurely time. So, and the ones, of course, today, we will put that up in the coming days. So you're more than welcome, because it was so much information, you're more than welcome to then come back and revisit this webinar.
Yeah, just before we go, Clara, I might
Yes.
we might just repost those. I think I'm not sure if everybody can see them. They might be just for us as hosts and
Oh,
talent. So,
sorry.
yeah,
That's good. I've even got glasses on.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's true. I think I have to go that close to see.
Oh, I think it did that with your email address as well, Clara. So I've just
Okay.
that too.
Thank you, Tom.
No,
See,
it's all
that's why you have a team.
Oh, sorry, Tom, you did it as well.
all over it.
That's okay. Everyone attending definitely has the email address now.
Okay, great. Okay, I think that's very timely. Please never hesitate to reach out and ask us anything. Okay, we're here to look after you. If it's centrally, or to my colleagues here, Anita or Tom, or anyone else within the colleges or the wider professional staff, the ANU, that's one thing we are here to make sure that we answer and look after you as an individual, and make sure that this process is as smooth as possible and you find out everything you need to. So please don't hesitate. Thank you again, Anita. And Tom, it was so informative. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and hopefully you'll be able to visit the other webinars in the coming weeks. Bye for now.
Thank you.
See you.